You know what
But things just got even crazier. Diddy's caught up in another lawsuit, and this time it's from a former male employee. The guy is claiming Diddy was all handsy inappropriately. Yeah. It's like one bombshell after another. This producer dude is accusing Diddy of some seriously messed up stuff, including some forced weirdness with other guys in the industry. And then there's Orlando Brown causing a stir again. He went viral claiming he hooked up with a bunch of rappers like Diddy Drake. Bo, wow, and a whole crew. But here's the kicker: Orlando's got a rep for being a bit out there, with substance use and some quirky behavior. So at first, people brushed off his claims. But now that big shots are getting called out for some wild stuff, folks are starting to wonder if Orlando was on to something all along. So, who are these rappers supposedly taking advantage of Orlando? It's a wild ride, man.
He loved me while he loved me. And only I can, just like Diddy. The same thing with Diddy. Nigga, they love me while they love me, bro. Period. And I know it's them. I'm not trying to be no dick, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Them my niggas, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they bomb as fuck. They bomb as fuck. When they switch into the little mode, they go morphing and shit. They bomb as fuck with my nigga.
I just said morphine. So hold on, wait.
Them my niggas, bro.
Before we hear Orlando dropping bombs about Diddy and what is really going down behind the scenes in the rap game, we have to dive into Orlando's past. Get a feel for the guy behind the headlines, all right. If you were a diehard Disney Channel fan back in the early 2000s, chances are you've got a soft spot for That's So Raven. I mean, who could forget Raven Simone and her crew Chelsea and Eddie right now? Eddie, played by Orlando Brown, was the funny guy of the group, always cracking jokes and dropping impromptu raps. But once the cameras stopped rolling in 2007, things took a turn for the not-so-funny for Brown dudes started making headlines, and not the good kind. We're talking arrests for drugs assault, and some seriously wild behavior like showing up at someone's place barefoot with a box of wine. It was a mess despite trying to keep his acting and music career going. All the drama surrounding Brown, including his ram about Hollywood being shady, kind of overshadowed any progress he made. Let's dive into his story and see where he's at today. Now, before he was Eddie on That So Raven, Brown already had some screen time under his belt. He popped up in movies like Major Payne back in '95, then did the rounds on sitcoms like Family Matters and Two of a Kind. The guy was everywhere, but it was That So Raven that really put him on the map, Disney Channel's first show to hit 100 episodes, paving the way for spin-offs like Corey and The House. But as the characters grew up, Disney decided it was time to call it quits in 2006, and let me tell you, trouble seemed to find Brown real quick after that. Just a month after the show ended, he got busted for weed possession during a traffic stop in Houston. He tried to play it cool, saying the car wasn't his and he didn't know about the drugs, but even he knew it was bad for his career. "I love what I do. Why jeopardize what I built?" he said at the time. Wise words, but it looks like trouble just kept following him. Orlando Brown's next headline wasn't exactly a what Alk in the Park picture. This April 2008, dude disappears after popping into a convenience store one morning. No calls, no text, just poof, gone naturally. His fam and friends are freaking out. His manager, Ricky Romance, goes into full-on panic mode, putting out calls left and right. The news spreads like wildfire, everyone wondering where the heck Orlando's gone off. Thankfully, he resurfaces the next day, calling into a radio station to let everyone know he's all right. Turns out he just needed some time to clear his head after a rough gig the night before. Dude was feeling lost. He apologizes for causing a scare, admitting he should have kept his peeps in the loop. But even after this scare, Orlando's time in the spotlight starts to fade. No more music drops, just occasional sightings, like when he showed up on Hell's Kitchen. But trouble seemed to have a thing for Orlando. In 2011, he gets busted for DUI, skips out on alcohol classes, and lands himself in jail. Then in 2014, he's causing a ruckus side some woman's place ranting and making threats. But it doesn't stop there in 2016. He's caught up in a domestic dispute found with meth and fails to show up in court cue the bounty hunter in 2018, and bam, more jail time for drug possession and robbery. Talk about a rough ride. And amidst all this chaos, Orlando's not holding back in interviews. He's spilling some serious tea about the industry, claiming folks sell their souls to make it big. He even throws shade at Raven-Symoné, saying she's not heard elf anymore. It's like he's dropping truth bombs left and right.
Talk about Raven.
Of course, no problem.
You've been very, very, you've always said what you wanted to say about her. And I felt like it came across as pain and not necessarily as a diss to her.
But no, it's I'ma be silent because I know something that he not supposed to know. He don't know this, so I'm gonna stay. This is what Raven's doing. I know something that he don't know.
Now, some say he's just off his rocker, but others are giving his words a second thought. After all, just because someone's dealing with mental health stuff doesn't mean they're not onto something right. It's a wild ride, but Orlando's definitely got people talking. Then Orlando Brown had a wild ride. It 2018 dude was in deep trouble with the law, and his friends and fam were seriously worried, so his manager Solomon Barron decides to step in and book him on Dr. Phil to try and get some help. Now when Orlan dude shows up on the show, he's rocking these creepy snake eye contacts, looking all kinds of distressed, and boy, does he drop some bombs. He starts off claiming he's actually the son of Michael Jackson, calling himself Orlando Brown Prince Michael Jackson. Jerkaya blanket like what?
Was Michael Jackson.
But wait, it gets crazier. He denies ever saying Will Smith was his dad, then starts talking about wanting to marry his old co-star Raven-Symoné. Yeah, it's a lot to take in. At the end of the show, Orlando's hesitant about getting help, but eventually agrees to rehab. Dr. Phil wraps things up by saying, Orlando's making progress. Phew, what a ride, but hold up. It doesn't stop there. After the show, Orlando starts making even wilder claims. He says he hooked up with Lil Bow Wow, Nick Cannon, and even Michael Jackson and Will Smith, and get this, he's bragging about it in videos online. We made love. Who you made love with? Buster. You just told me you see Buster in the airport to them. Tried to act like he didn't know you. You smashed Drake. Ah, no, I never smashed. Oh, you made love to Drake and see, of course, luck. Bow Wow and Nick Cannon are quick to shut down those accusations. Cannon even posts about praying for Orlando and raising awareness about mental health struggles in the industry. It's a crazy mess, but Orlando's definitely got people talking. But hey, Orlando didn't throw in the towel. He kept at it with acting gigs like The End and American Bad Boy, and he dipped his toes into music too, dropping some tracks and music vids on his YouTube channel. They might not be topping the charts, but his fans appreciate the positivity he's bringing. Speaking of which, people are noticing his progress. Like in response to one of his videos, fans are hyped, saying how proud they are of him for staying on track.